Okay, everybody, I'm still working out the kinks as to why my camera and my computer are plotting against me and keep deleting stuff. So, take number 2. Let's try this again. So I wanted to show you about those wonderful little invitations I've been making. I want you to come make some with me, especially if you need some for your own elephant-themed baby shower. So, we're going to need some string. Preferably some thinner string. This is pretty thick, but it is, with the buttons that I chose, just right. So button to string ratio, make sure it's good. And of course you're going to need buttons. However many elephants you want to make, that's how many buttons you're going to need. And then if you want a printout, I'm going to try and design a printout for you guys, and if you roll on over to my Facebook page, it will be, I'm going to try and put it up there. Wish me a little bit of luck, because I've never really made a pattern officially and threw it up on my Facebook page, but I'm going to try it for you guys. So yeah, just roll on over to my Facebook page, and I'm going to try and create a section for just patterns. That's actually going to be on my to-do list. How'd that pen get there? I had to put it on my to-do list. So, and we're also going to need a pen. So go ahead and grab a pen. And if you just, and at the end of the video, I'm also going to take a picture of the elephant and leave it at the end of the video. That way, if you guys have the awesome screenshot feature on your phone, you can either do, I think it's the 5x11, I think that might be too big. It's the next size down when you go to your print options. Like if you take it down to Walmart and just have a photo printed, or if you do it at home on your printer and it gives you the photo option sizes, just go the next size down from the full page size. I think it's like half a page, or the one that's a little bit smaller than a half a page, but it's still technically half a page. So one of those two will get you about the size that you're looking for your elephant invitation. Alrighty, so you're going to need to go to your print section and print off your little elephant. I actually ran over to Pinterest and got mine, and I had to play a guessing game of printing until I finally got it right. And I printed it in black and white, that way it would be cheaper. And then when I finally figured out the size I needed, I rolled over and printed it into color. That way I wouldn't have such a hard time seeing my cut lines, for instance, on the ear, because it is really hard to depict the color ratio on that ear between the two, especially if you're like me sometimes and have a hard time with depth perception. So I went and I printed out 3 of them, because obviously the ear lays on top of the circle that we need. I guesstimated when I cut around the circle as best as I could when it came to the ear part. I cut out the ear, the circle, and the elephant. Ah, I'm throwing the poor elephant. And when it came to the bow, I just pretty much guesstimated on that too, because I figured the bow would cover it up. And same thing when it came to the little hump, I guesstimated on that too. And then I laid it on top of cardstock when I was finished. Actually, yeah. No. Okay. Yeah, I did lay it straight on top of cardstock because you can see the tape on the tail. So I laid it on the cardstock and I taped over the whole tail because that was the most delicate part of the elephant. I taped the tip of the trunk and the head, the top of the head, towards the bottom of the trunk, and the bottom of the feet. That way it would hold it in place while I cut out my pattern, because obviously this regular paper is kind of flimsy. And I did the same thing with the ear. I taped it along the top. I didn't even think I taped along the bottom. And then with this, I'm pretty sure I just, yeah, there's a tape line there and a tape line here. So I just set it there and taped it down and cut around it real quick. Actually, there's my tape line. I don't know why there's tape lines on the back, but there is. Oh, that's from when I folded it. Okay, never mind. So yeah, that's how I cut out it onto the cardstock. I wanted it on cardstock just to make it a little bit more heavy duty. You can use the paper, but I'm going to make a suggestion and say use it to cut out a cardstock pattern. The thicker the cardstock that you can cut through, the better, because that means the longer your pattern will last and you can use it for more elephants later on down the road for either other baby showers or if you decide to sell little elephants like I am hopefully going to do. So you're going to need 2 colors for your elephant. I picked this medium chocolate to light chocolate, and I picked this like light mocha coffee color. Yeah, light mocha. Don't even qualify this coffee. So this is going to be the circle, and this is going to be the elephant and the ear. You can get multiple circles out of this. I'm sure a lot of you know. But you can get 2 elephants out of here, and you can even have some left over. So let's get this started. And you're going to need a hot glue gun. Don't forget. So turn on your hot glue gun. I turned mine on before I started filming. That way it'd be hot enough, and I'd be ready to jump in on the gluing. So first things first, we're going to take our darkest color of paper, and we're going to fold it in half. And sadly, I was going to be using these invitations, but now I am not. So I'm going to put them for sale on one of the Facebook sites linked to my Facebook page. If any of you are interested, just put a message in the comments, and maybe if I don't sell them on my Facebook page, which I might sell them pretty fast because they are adorable, then I will try and set them up. I will set them up on Etsy if one of you guys are interested, and hopefully you can roll on over to Etsy and pick them up. So now on the elephant, the direction you want your elephant to face, color it the opposite way, because that way you can hide the lines on the back of your elephant. And see all these lines? You can tell where I've been doing it. Yeah. And same thing with this. I wrote back on this because I wasn't sure whether I was going to have enough lines on it to depict which was front and back. So I just wrote back on it. And you can do the same thing with your elephant. That way you know. But I figure with as many times as I did it, and the fact that I knew which direction I wanted him anyway, I would know with the elephant. So grab your pen and start outlining your elephant. Now, for those of you who have one of those fancy, I think they're Cricut machines. My mom has one, but she does vinyl decals for a living. So that's why she has one. I am a little bit jealous, not gonna lie, because I have to hand cut this out. Now you're gonna need scissors, and I'm pretty sure I forgot mine. So I will be right back. Now I took it out of fast forward for this one very spot because this is where it gets a little tricky. And I decided not to have all these questions after the video was done at the bottom. How did you cut out the trunk? It's a pain in the butt. So instead of going down and around this way, we are going to go straight down this way, loop around the trunk. And you have to be careful right here while you're maneuvering it. Maneuver from here and try not to get your scissors caught on the elephant itself, because it gets a little bit tricky around the trunk. Alright. And you just cut it off. Now you're going to have this point on the trunk. Just go back in and trim it up as you see fit. It shouldn't need too much trimming, depending on your ability to cut and how long you've been cutting. Now, we got our trunk cut out. Drop down from the head. And all this excess is now off of our elephant. It just makes it a little bit easier to work with. Save this piece, and I will show you a step in one moment on what to do with it. Now hold on tight to your elephant, especially when you get down to the tail, because the way I drew out the pattern, I actually want to save or try and cut the end just right to make it give it that little curl and make it look adorable. And for some reason the pattern doesn't have that curl, and I personally like it, and if you like it, you'll want to do the same thing. Okay, instead of cutting straight, go up a little bit from your line, drop back down, now come back up to a point. And now you have your little tail curly cue, which you could see because the lines are still there. It would have been straight, but it just looks so cute with that curly cue. I like it. And now you have your two elephants, your scrap nose garbage, your ears, and this wonderful piece I told you all to save. Now, if any of you go to Starbucks all the time, what does that look like? Or Circle K in my case. I like hot cocoa. And I'm cheap. And round off this end. Not too drastic though. And now you have a little coffee mug for all of your coffee mug crafting needs. It is so cute. So you have a coffee mug, two elephants, and an ear. Can't complain about that. You could probably scrap this out for something. I have no idea what I'd scrap it out for, so maybe I'll throw it in my Frankenstein bin or put it in the recycle bin. I'm sure I'll probably just throw it in the recycle bin. But now that we have our elephants cut out, let's move on to the next step. The eyeballs, the ears, and the string. Now, let's start with the string. Here's my drinking water over here that I ran and got earlier. Just take your string and dip it in the water a little bit. Now, move your elephants. You don't want water on them. And twist your string really tight. Depending on the brand of string, this should work. I personally just use my spit, but I'm being sanitary for you guys. I'm terrible, I know. So you take this string and put it through here, and you do the same on this side. And when your string gets loose, either tighten it back up, or the water's starting to dry out, just add more water. Now you have one button on the string. Tie it, right? No, don't tie it. This is the easy way to do it. Put on all of your buttons. It just makes it easier and saves you a little bit of time instead of doing them individually. At least I think it feels like you saves you time. I'm not sure if it actually does, but it feels like it. Okay, since we're only doing 2 buttons, now you have this whole string of 100, 500, 3,000 buttons. I hope not, because at that rate, I would just go buy freaking little itty-bitty white index card and be like, here, come to my baby shower. But 20 or 30 of these, yeah, I could do that. Take some time, but... Alright, pull your string back because we want to waste as little as possible. Fluffy, where are you wiping your boogers now? I think he's in the washroom, little turd monkey. Alright, 1 knot, but not just 1, we need 2. So double knot it. Oh, the neighbor's doggies are barking. Someone must be taking a walk. Now take our scissors and trim them as close as the eyeball as you can get. And be sure it's tight before you trim it, because you don't want your knot falling out. Okay, this wet piece, we don't need anymore. Throw it in the garbage. Or save it for later and use it in a junk journal. I like to do that too, especially if they're long enough. I'll use them on my other buttons, my smaller buttons. Okay. Let's do the same thing here. Just tie it in a knot. Pull it nice and tight. And do it again. If you have fragile buttons, I wouldn't suggest pulling this tight, but somehow, some way, you're going to need to get it tight enough to where it doesn't come undone until you at least get it glued down to your elephant. But if the buttons are that fragile, I honestly wouldn't be using them on elephant invitations, because if you send them off in the mail, guaranteed they're going to get broke. I probably wouldn't send these in the mail, because with as harsh as our mail system is, I'm even sure that these would get broke. And if you did decide to, I would get, maybe if you had a bunch of washi tape, you could just put it around the eyeball when you put it in the invitation, or something a little bit smaller, like maybe downcycle some packing peanuts, or I like to use baby wipes to make baby wipe flowers. I've seen that on Mirror Me Small Art, so if you really want to learn how to do that, run over to her channel and check it out. It's right on the front of her page, really pretty. Take some of the baby wipes and just put them around the eye, maybe to protect it when they're dry, of course, not when they're wet. All right, now let's move on to our little ears. Now, this is where I kind of refer back to the original pattern and just lay it on top of your elephant ears until it fits. Now, this is the back side, obviously. So this is going to be the front side. See, look at that. Fits almost perfectly. And when you look at your little elephant, it goes on like this. So let's flip our elephants over, because my blonde butt almost glued them on backwards. I do that sometimes. Be careful not to do that if you have blonde mistakes too. So now that we know that this softer curve and these two hard curves go up and the softer curve goes back towards the tail, let's lay it in place. And I literally just eyed it without even using this, but you can use this as a reference to help you out if you are not an avid crafter and would automatically know where this would go. So take your nail, or I guess the button would work too if you don't have any nails, and fold it over to create this little itty bitty tab. Same thing with this one. Here's your curve. Oh, no, goes this way. Okay, and fold it up. Here's your little tab. And now we are going to take our hot glue gun and glue just a little bit. It does not need that much for the ear. Just a tidbit. Lay your ear where you want it and then push down on your tab. And you can clean up this little bit of glue if you want, or you can leave it because it is going to be covered when we are finished. Alright, same thing with this little ear. Just a little bit. Now that's actually quite a lot, but that's okay because it looks like it's going to be hidden. Okay, lay down your ear and then just push down on the little tab. Perfect. All right, we're at the stage now where we can actually attach these eyeballs, these little eyeballs. I don't know why I just did that. Okay, my cord's caught. Right where you're going to put the eyeball, a lot of glue. I'm not kidding. A lot of glue. And I like my little line to be in the direction that he's going to see. Now this is a little bit more glue than I would normally use, but it's still alright. Because it came out the sides. I tried to just make the dot as big as the button, but because I put a little bit of glue on the back of the button, it came out too big. That's okay, because it's not that noticeable. The glue is clear. Okay, let's try to get it right on this one. Let's wipe off the excess. Just one squeeze on your big glue gun should do the trick. If you have a little one, I don't know, a squeeze and a half. See, look how perfect that came out with just one squeeze. And this one is exceptionally hot. I mean, I don't know if you could just see the steam off of that, but I definitely could. So be careful. And on top of that, you might want the little bit of a hotter one, because placing these buttons, you want them to go in just the right space, and you don't want your glue to cool down and start getting all hard and clumpy before you have a chance to throw down your eyeballs. All right, now this little string, I kind of tied them all at the same time. So we're going to do a loop, a wrap around, and if anybody of you know what I'm doing, which you should, I'm making a bow. Alrighty. This is where I actually start saving the string off the ends for my scrapbooking and junk journaling and stuff. Because look how long that's going to be. That's going to be terribly long when I cut it off. Okay. Okay, maybe not that long. But on some of them I did, it was going to be very long. Okay, and I like to cut one string a little bit longer than the other, just to be cute. Okay, but that's too long. Much better. Now let's take our hot glue gun. Just a little dab of glue. And drop it right on his ear. Isn't that adorable? We're already almost done. Now let these dry before you start stacking them on top of each other, because literally it is still a little wet and flexible right now. But when it dries, your eyeballs ain't going nowhere. Alright, let's make another bow. I literally gave up Netflix this morning to come video with you guys. I was like, I need to do a video. I'm feeling so terrible because I haven't gotten one done lately. But I'm like, oh, I want to watch Vampire Diaries. I'm at the point now to where Netflix is starting to cancel all of my favorite shows. So I literally am thinking about canceling and rolling over to Hulu. But there's some of my shows they still have that they don't have on Hulu. So I'm like, and they're my favorites and I watch them all the time. But I've been catching up on all the ones I haven't watched, just in case they decide to cancel them. So yeah, there's that. I'll probably sit down tonight and continue binge watching Vampire Diaries. Alrighty, my little bow for the second elephant is done. That is actually a little bit more glue than anticipated, but that's okay. It's homemade. Homemade with love. Okay, now our little elephants are almost finished. Don't freak out just yet. We're forgetting something. Let's scoot you guys up here. We need our circles. Circles, circles, circles. I know, I'm such a dork. Okay, now I'm only going to draw out 2 because obviously we only need 2. And we'll save this paper for our Frankenstein box. Man, the doggies are going bonkers out there. And I like to get it as close to the edges as possible, just to kind of save on paper. Okay, we got 2 circles. Circles, circles, circles. All right, let's cut this. For all my funny ladies out there, I'm sure you know what that looks like. Moving on. Okay. Now we have our little circles. Of course, we got our pen marks. Don't forget about those. Flip it over. Please, please, please flip it over. You don't want to see those. Okay. Now, we're just going to glue them straight down. I would suggest writing on them before you glue them down. Or you can use tacky glue, Elmer's glue. I like using hot glue because it's fast and it gets my project done quickly. So, see, just a quick bloop. And we are done. Now, oh, sorry about that. Be sure and press out the hot glue because it gets little ripples in it if you don't. And it makes it a little bit harder to write on. That's why I'm saying write on it before you glue it down. If not, then it's okay. You can write on it either way. I was actually thinking vellum would be really cute. Just pre-type your stuff on vellum and then go in and tack it down however you tack down vellum. I've never really worked with it too much. All right, and our little elephants are done. And we are going to do a second step that requires elephants, or elephant envelopes. Try saying that 10 times fast. So, without fail, every single time, hey, guess what? Hot glue gun's hot enough and your battery needs charged. But it's all good. I went and found the charger and we're ready to go. So, my lights I actually have here are really neat because they have USB ports directly on the bottom. So I just run the cord from the light, wrap it around my little fixture thing here, and plug it directly in. It's complicatedly easy. So, alright. Now we just take the hot glue, throw it on there, and I just got some on my fancy table. It's alright, hot glue will come off. Yeah, no, one moment. Okay, don't worry about that. It's dry. It won't stick. Okay, now just press. And seal. And this on the back. Obviously, this one's going to be mine because it looks like crap. Yeah, we gotta have a few mistakes here and there. This one will go on my scrapbook. It's all good. Okay, and now I have dots all over my... Remember, hot, hot, hot. Okay, so it's supposed to look like this. Oh, wait. Give me a moment. Okay, it's supposed to look like this. Not like this. No, yes. Yes, no. Okay, and then when you're finished, you just tuck your little Sir Lelephant inside, and he is all snug and cozy. And then you close it. Put a big huge goop of either wax or, like I do, hot glue, stamp it, and you're ready to go. I like to put, I don't have any right now, but I'll put, here, we'll use this string as a good reference. Just fold it like this, and then you'll have your ends of your ribbons coming out. Actually... It would be, anyway, somewhat like this. And then you would stick it here. And then you glue it. And you got these strings sticking out. So when you're done with your wax or your glue, you can just pull it right up. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to open. So don't forget that. Please don't forget that. I don't want you to be ripping your envelope in half and killing your poor elephant just to get to the invitation. Okay, and our last one here. We got Well, not our last one. We still got one other one. Okay. See, this one looks a little bit nicer. It's been a while since it's like been a couple of weeks since I went all crazy making the beginning invitations, and I was like, ugh, I'm tired of making elephants. And now I'm back to doing it again because it's down to the wire and they have to get done. I'm terrible. Okay. Well, it's down onto the wire on needing to get them out because the party is almost a month and a half away. And we want to get them out early so people have a chance to go either shopping or, you know, whatever it is they want to do to prepare for the party. Okay, so this is what your back's going to look like. See, nice and pretty. You don't see any glue lines. Be careful about getting it really high up here. You can always kind of clean it off if you have any issues. Or when I was getting all tedious with it, I actually had a brown pen that I was using to write my information on my elephants, and I would just put a little dot here and a little dot here so I know exactly how high up to put the hot glue. You can use other glue. You don't have to use hot glue. Elmer's glue I'm sure would work really well. Any type of just basic glue, tacky glue would work. But with the cardstock, I wanted something fast, something quick that I could get it done and get these out the door because they need to get done. And I have so many other things to plan for the party since I'm the host and having to do all of the party supplies, which doesn't bother me any, but I need some quick how-to hacks and things like that. And so my hot glue gun was my go-to buddy for this party. So, alrighty, everybody, you have a wonderful day, and stay tuned because there will be a couple of more easy, cheap hacks for the baby shower. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and have a wonderful day. Bye. Okay, so as you can tell, I got my piece of my craft paper here. The back of it is this cardstock. It's thin. So I just set my hot glue gun on top of that to protect my table. So I grabbed a couple more of these since we gotta wait for the hot glue gun to heat up anyway, and I need a few of these. So we will do 2 other ways to fold these in time for the pate. So the second way I did this is, of course, I did my first one, and then after that I had it as a little pattern. So I just took a pen and I angled it inward to get it a little bit closer, so it would be, this one would be the same size as this one when you're done drawing the lines, or approximately anyway. And this line is going to go on the inside of your invitation, so you'll never see it until they open up the invitation. Now, so you have nice guidelines to go by, and you just sit and draw all these lines. This way you don't have to have any hard work on doing all of your envelopes. The first one is your hardest one to do. Remember, angle it outwards so your next envelope doesn't end up bigger than your first one. Okay, and you're going to have these lines come down. That's okay. Again, they're going to be covered up. Now, let me go dig out the ruler and I'll show you an even easier way to do these fold lines. Okay, so this is a little bit bigger ruler, but same concept, it works. You can use your regular paper ruler or your school size ruler will work perfectly fine. And if you draw this line deep enough, it's going to create a score anyway. So just hold it over that line and fold, and you already have it in an automatic fold. Same thing with this side, fold. And they are perfect and ready to go. You don't even have to sit in 100% exact measure. See, look at that. They match up just perfect. Your elephant fits right in there. And your lines you don't even see unless you open it. And even then, they're very faint. And unless it's someone who's like obsessive compulsive, they're never gonna notice. Oh, I need a glue stick in my glue gun. That might help. You think? So let's fold a few more of these. Well, at least one more. We'll fold this last one here so you guys get kind of a good idea. And just up on that line. And my washer machine is, or no, is that my washer machine? I think that's my dryer is yelling at me. Come empty me, otherwise I'm on constant spin cycle. Right on the line and fold up. And perfect. See, now you're the master. And I'm pretty sure I drew that line crooked. That's okay. Nope, guess not. It just felt like it was. Perfect. That one sits down a little bit lower, but it's okay. Nobody's perfect. Okay. Now let's hope the hot glue gun's hot enough. If not, then I will come back to you in a few minutes when it is. But here's hoping. And it is not hot enough. I guess we'll be back. Okay, so I finally found this paper. I did you guys a crappy fold, so I kind of wanted to redo it. So here's our little elephant, and he will go right in the middle. I used a ruler for this the first time, but, well, no, never mind. I didn't use a ruler the first time. I used it most of the other times after I figured out it was just easier that way. So this is literally how I did my very first one, with the elephant inside the envelope, and you want these points sticking out right in the middle. And if you have one of those wooden flatteners, you can use those. I tend to use my nails because I don't have one of those wooden flattener things. And see, our elephant fits just perfect. And with this specific paper, sometimes you gotta pull it up this way in order to get it exactly in the right spot where you want it. And of course, take the elephant out once you got your fold line here, because the eyeball kind of gets in your way. And see these curves right here, how it shows right there? You don't want it to show right here. So push it down over that little hole, just enough to cover it. You just don't want to see it. It can barely cover it. That's fine. See, look at how perfect that is. Okay. Now, let me go bust out the hot glue gun and we will finish up this lovely little envelope.